To deploy the Newberry Load, the first thing you're going to do is sandwich the top section. That's going to be the accordion somewhere right near the nozzle, and you're going to shoulder that. After you've shouldered it, you're going to turn and with your other hand grab the hand grab. The goal of the hand grab is to be able to clear the hose bed. This should be at 50 feet. You're watching Lieutenant's first time deploying this load. So he shoulders it, he gets the hand grab, he extends the hand grab out, and what you'll see is basically an S or a triple fold formation with the hand grab loop. As it extends all the way out, he takes that hand grab, tightens it, and throws it out of the way to make sure that his attack is not under his supply. After that, he's able to take that shoulder load, accordion that he started out with, and walk to wherever he needs to. The advantage here is you essentially have a Minuteman, so it flakes off like a Minuteman, or he can deploy that right near, if he needed to go in this door, he could deploy it, grab two sections, throw it out, and he has the nozzle and he has the 50-foot coupling right there at him, and he is definitely ready. The other way is to deploy the Minuteman by letting it flake off your shoulder, the traditional concept of the Minuteman. When we do this, one of the most important things is to make sure that you use your dominant hand to control the load. And then your other hand can essentially, as you feel kind of that resistance or that tug from the hose behind you, you'll let it flake off section by section. This will get you the most reach and without dropping most of what's on your shoulder before you really need it. You can also effectively navigate around or through a lot of objects without just pulling a bunch of line behind you that could get snagged. So if you don't know how to deploy this load, if you mess up deploying this load, then what happens? The truth is the load is pretty forgiving. So we'll watch what would happen if you did make a mistake. As you can see, even if someone messed up or didn't know how to deploy the load, it deploys basically like a flat load. The accordion will switch over to that flat lay and just keep going out. They have 200 feet to pull. If the engineer needs to come up or someone else can come up and grab the hand grab, they can make life a little easier for them, but otherwise just go for 200 feet. So with higher quality hose, you're going to have to roll the hose first. After it's rolled, you want to make sure you have as much air out of the line as possible. The best way to do this is to roll in a tight roll, clamp the ends, and then just let it pull straight out. Make your connections before you let off of those clamps, wherever you may have them. Another thing to make sure you're watching out for as you're loading the flat load, which is what you're going to start with, is that you don't have overlapping areas. Overlapping areas will create a lot more space as it comes out. A third person feeding makes life a lot easier. Just make sure that when they're pulling, they don't lift straight up because it'll twist and that will be a mess. You want to try to keep the couplings in the deepest part of the tray to save room for the accordion. So once you've filled in that tray, you're going to make 2 hand grabs. This is going to be after the 50-foot coupling. Then you're going to go back in. You've filled the tray in as much as you can, and only at that point do you extend outside of the tray, filling the rest of the area. Once you reach your last coupling, move that section to the body of the apparatus. That's going to be the farthest away from the person grabbing that line. And what that's going to allow is for the nozzle to be closest to them so that they shoulder that first. So try to keep that accordion nice and tight. As it goes by, it'll make it easier to grab. So as our crews are loading it back in, they're essentially going to have a 50-foot accordion load. And this accordion load will end up being our shoulder load. The next step is to connect the nozzle and then place that nozzle on the right side of the apparatus. This will make sure that when it's shouldered, it's on the front of that firefighter if they deploy with the right side. Then fold in the hand grabs on either side, and then the lid can be closed.